Well, it seems that it is that time of week again. It is Sunday, and I am here taking questions live from you. So many of the comments that we get all the time are that we are picking and choosing certain cities to talk about. I like to come on live at least once a week, and we go on to, and people can actually comment on the different areas that they're interested in, different cities that they're interested in, and different wealth building strategies. Take it from me, somebody who went from completely destitute on welfare to being able to make it onto very wealthy and happy and financially independent. This can happen if you use the right tools in the right way. This is what I want for you. So I love to come on live and hear people. Sometimes I offer you to come on live with me, but not a lot of people are brave like that. But it's okay. We don't mind about that one. So let's jump in straight away to the information for today. And if you have any comments, please jump on in and let me know something that you would like to know, and then we'll start looking into it. All right. So where we're looking right now is in Toronto. So this is a large city. It's in Canada. It's over 1 million people. It's quite large. But as you can see, there's been a massive rebound in prices. Remember, the reason that the prices have been rebounding up is not because the economy is good. It's because mortgage rates are going down. So if mortgage rates are going down, we're going to expect to see home prices going up. This is what we're expecting, okay, every single time. So this is important to know. But this is only because mortgage rates are falling. So if we would like to look in other parts of the country, please let me know what parts you're in. As you can see, there's a weird thing that's happening right now. There's an inverse between fixed rate and variable rate. This never happens. This tells you that something very dodgy is happening in the market right now. We have to pay attention to that. So if you guys want to look at some different cities, please let me know which cities you want me to look at. Again, if you guys want to follow me, you can go to sellhigher.ca. This is where we help people sell properties for more money. All right, so let's take a look into some deeper stuff, and then we're going to go look at some different cities. So if we were going to look at different cities, perhaps, let's just say that we're going to take a couple in Canada. But if you guys have some cities in the United States that you want me to look at, you can just mention them to me. I look at a lot of reports there. So let's just pick up a couple of them. We're going to pick Toronto and Vancouver. Those are the most two populous places, but we get a lot of questions about Kitchener-Waterloo, Kingston, maybe Oakville. Let's pull that one up. I got one person today that was contacting me about Nova Scotia properties. Let's look at Saskatchewan, Saskatoon, maybe, Sault Ste. Marie. That should be enough for us to get going. And then if you look here, okay, let's take a look at the chart. If we take a look at the chart right here, do you see that the city is $1.6 million is what it was peaking out at in Oakville, and currently it's sitting at 1.3 million. That's a bankruptcy event. If we look at Toronto, that's a bankruptcy event. This big drop in prices right there. This is very, very, very good that we have this information, right? If you look at Vancouver, that's a bankruptcy event, but nothing compared to this Oakville drop. Unbelievable. Even Kitchener-Waterloo drop. That is crazy town. That's knocking back prices back 2 years of gains have disappeared. But in all, I actually don't even know what cities these are, but look at how steady these three are. They're very, very, very straight. So if you look at Sault Ste. Marie, it went up a healthy amount, barely come down. Saskatoon, barely come down. Nova Scotia, barely come down. We have a question coming in for Davenport, Florida, and we also have Montreal. So let me pull up Montreal while I can right here. So let's pull Montreal up and let's see if we could find Montreal here. So you guys know the rules. The rules are the more steady it is, the better it is for your paycheck. So, you know, if you had all of these cities, which we know that a whole bunch of different towns were good and bad, obviously this one has not gone up as much, but it hasn't gone down as much. But what does that mean? If you look in 2020, early 2020, 386 finished at 552. That's a very, very healthy gain, right? But we also printed a lot of money. Now it's down to 503. That is nothing. So this would be a very, very good one. For you in Toronto, Toronto prices, average home prices have rocketed up from January till now. Look at that, 980,000 up to 1.1 million. If you were on the fence thinking, well, maybe I should sell, maybe I shouldn't, I don't know, but you can't look a gift horse in the mouth, you know? When you look at prices from last year going from 1.2 million, dropping and dropping in a year of you feeling sick to your stomach, and then seeing prices rebound like they are right now, I mean, it's the biggest gift that you can possibly get. Campbellton, New Brunswick. I'm not sure if I have specifically Campbellton. Let me see if I do. I don't. What we could do is look at New Brunswick as a whole. I mean, Campbellton isn't the biggest city in New Brunswick. Do you mind if we just look up that one? Where would it be? Where do you guys think New Brunswick would be on this list? There's a lot of them, right? Oh, look at that. Look at how steady New Brunswick is. So, like I was telling you guys before, even without seeing the city names, you know that these are bankruptcy events up here in this zone where it drops. But down here on this side, these are the more stable properties. So, look at New Brunswick, 196 or so when we started printing, 180. You know, earlier on, peaked out at 320. Listen, guys, that's a lot still, right? That's up still 60%, but now it's not dropping as much down to 266,000. Also, we got a question that was coming in earlier about Davenport, Florida. And if you guys want Davenport, Florida, let's take a look there as well. Rahul over on YouTube, you said you're not seeing any of the comments. We are live on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, a bunch of channels. So if you have any questions, please put them there and I'll get to you. So Davenport, Florida, the main thing that you would like to know is what the population is. So anytime you're going to look at a city, you want to know what the population, 10,000, extremely small. You want to know on a map where Davenport would be. But right now, I can tell you that the majority of cities, especially in southern Florida, are vastly overvalued. The only places that right now that I'm seeing any good deals are up in Jacksonville, Tallahassee, basically this panhandle. We're seeing some stuff in here that is a good deal. But what you got to do is you got to make sure that you have enough cash flow that is coming in on any single property. So personally, anything below Orlando has been overbought right now. You have high interest rates right now and high prices. It's not enough for me. If we're going to go down, we just did Toronto. Now I have a question for Ottawa. If you guys want to see what Ottawa looks like, Ottawa is fantastic. If you guys don't know about Ottawa, I want you guys to think about the video. Go to my YouTube channel at Rough Team Realty and take a look for me at capital cities. I did an entire YouTube video on that because if you look at Moscow in Russia, or if you want to look at Canberra in Australia, Ottawa here in Canada, Washington, D.C., capital cities always have something special going on into that. So let's take a look at Ottawa right now. Ottawa, when we started printing, 460. It went up to 720, insane hikes, right? But it hasn't dropped that much. From 720 to 600 is nothing compared to the rest of the cities that we're seeing right now. Ottawa resident, you're asking me, do I ever look into properties in Mexico? I do. It's too dangerous from a financing standpoint. It's also too dangerous for me not holding a Mexican passport. I don't want to lose my properties. It's not for me. The number one thing you got to do when you're going to be buying a property is look into a place that has rule of law. Rule of law is so important. Number one thing that you have to look at. So for me, not worth the risk. If any of you guys are from Toronto, obviously you can go over to sellhigher.ca, sellhigher.ca. This is where we help you sell your homes for more money. I am a mortgage broker in Toronto, Canada, but if you guys know, I invest all over North America. So thanks very much for coming on. What we're fighting right now is the average price in Toronto right now is 1.2 million. So leave a comment below if you want me to check out one of your areas. and see what those prices are right now. But let's just take a look at these two calculations. So last year, right here, 1.2 million, 1.2 million, we have a 2% interest rate, a 5.4% interest rate, same amount of amortization. So I want you to see the identicalness. $5,000 a month in mortgage payment versus $7,297. That difference is insane. That is more than 50, 60% more money. And where you're going to see that difference is on the exact same home. Look at this, $300,000 worth of interest. And now it's going to be $989,000 of interest. Unbelievable, right? Can you imagine you're going to end up paying $600,000 more in mortgage interest? Unbelievable. It's just crazy town. Rahul is asking on YouTube, which is a safe place in the Eastern time zone to buy in South America? My favorite place in South America is Bogota, like down in Colombia. I would only buy in Colombia if you have friends that live there, though. But yeah, it's the only place in South America I would go. Airbnb Savage, you said, love your show. It's very relevant to me. Thanks for the value. Oh, man, you guys are so welcome. Thank you very much for coming on. Please consider everybody liking my YouTube channel and following me over there. Amazing, guys. I just got an email today from YouTube that we are now monetized, actually, because we've had such extreme growth on the channel. So I'm pretty happy for that. Thank you, guys. It's all because of you. And so hopefully I'm giving you guys enough value here. So remember, whenever you were looking for a mortgage rate, you have to look is specifically for your bonds in whatever country that you're in, because whenever the mortgage rates follow the bond rate. So if you have a high number up here, high, that's when home prices are going to be low because the majority of the money is going to interest. On the inverse, if it drops very low, like down in these zones, this is where you want to be selling your property. So right now is a time that you would like to be selling your property. It doesn't matter if you're in Colombia. It doesn't matter if you are in United States. Just look up your 5-year bond or treasury, whatever it is. Rahul is asking on YouTube as well, what about Dominican Republic? No, I wouldn't be buying in Dominican Republic. Too Rocky, I do have some friends that are in Dominican Republic, and even though I know that, I probably wouldn't be going there. So we have to look at the interest rates in Canada. We've decided to pause the interest rates. This is a mistake as far as I'm concerned for Canada, because we're going to have a lot more inflation because of it, because our dollar is dropping a lot. If you look at Canada, we continue to print money like it's going out of style. It's going straight up to the moon. But the States isn't much better. All the trouble that you see on the news is this tiny little hook dip that's here in the corner that I bet you can't even see. And so we're going to go back to money printing, right? We're going to be very, very soon in the United States raising up that debt ceiling, and they're going to have to turn that money printer on a lot. They're already a lot in debt. So I wouldn't be thinking about here, you guys, but what I would be doing is looking in another part of the country. I was looking up before the show in the United States. The majority of properties that are selling in the States are less than $150,000. So that's why I would be aiming for something like that. You got to get into entry-level properties. You don't want to be going here and buying a $1.6 million property. You should buy 10 properties that are revenue building. Airbnb Savage, you're saying, of course, I'm going to answer you. He said that he loves my show. So that's great. Not sure if you answered this question already. Would you be buying in Calgary if it's not too overbought already? And so the answer is absolutely, I would consider buying in Calgary. Let's take a look at, since we have so many different ones above here, let's pull up Calgary as a complete, the whole city, okay, the average prices. Now, this is a trick for everybody. So as you can see right here, we have 10 different cities, right, that are on this list. Usually I don't like to compare all 10, but why not? You know exactly when you're looking here, halfway kind of thing. All of the ones above are dangerous. Those are the ones that have lost the most value, whereas the ones below are the most stable. When you are buying and you've already built your financial moat, then you can think about buying up here if you wanted to. But while you're building, you don't want to be okay at this zone being all right, losing everything that you own. That would be a terrible move. So let's see where we are for Calgary. First of all, New Brunswick, Sault Ste. Marie, Saskatoon. Nova Scotia, Montreal, Calgary. All right, so check that out. So Calgary, before you started even money printing, right here, 415. What did it peak out at? At 532, which is only 25%. And if we printed 50% more money, that means you're still getting a 25% discount. And so the prices haven't leveled off at all. So you're actually getting properties at a discount right now. So yes, Airbnb does work. Not Airbnb, Airbnb over on YouTube. Calgary does work right now because the purchase price plus the money print is still less than what it should be. So, I mean, it's great. Haywire, I got a couple questions from Haywire here. He's mentioning that's Flippers doing that. Right, Flippers, there's not as much anymore. Right now, there were 800 different flipping companies in the United States, right? 800 flipping companies, which is crazy town. But now we're not having that anymore. Where the majority of flippers are gone away. They can't make money doing this anymore. Isn't that crazy? So flippers, they're gone. They're not in the picture anymore. Okay, so let me continue on. Grand Prairie is the next question. Because we have so many that are here, do you mind me taking a few off just so that we're not going to be as confused? And keep those questions coming in, you guys. I appreciate them. I like them. So I'm going to take a bunch of them off. I don't know if we have Grand Prairie. I don't think that we do. So you guys, for those of you who don't know, Grand Prairie is over in Alberta. So let's take a look. If you look at Grand Prairie, what are the things that I always tell you that you have to be looking for? You have to look to see if it's landlord friendly. You have to see the size of the population of the city. So if you just open up something, I don't even know what the population is there, 63,000. So this is a decent city. You don't want to be in a town of 1,000 or 2,000 people, right? Ever. That's a bad thing. If you go to Grand Prairie and take a look at it on a map, where are you? You're in northern Alberta. And so if you were in northern Alberta, that far north, typically they're going to have trouble having people move there. So what I would suggest is between the main cities, can you see, let's zoom in on Alberta. When you look at Alberta, you'll see the main cities are Edmonton and Calgary. And so if you could buy a property that is by a main highway, so obviously the highway between Calgary and over to the Rockies, so through the Banff National Park, is really, really, really expensive. So you're not going to find any properties kind of here. You'd kind of have to look somewhere between Edmonton down to Calgary, from Calgary over to Medicine Hat, and on that Calgary south through Okotoks Lethbridge into the border. That's where you're going to find your best deals. But that I would be looking for something like that. Grand Prairie right now, I wouldn't be purchasing in for an investment. But if you own your property in Grand Prairie, since I don't have it up here on my chart, let me tell you about even Alberta as a whole. Okay. And let's take a look at Edmonton, for example. If we add these in, let's look up here. Vancouver is this manic depressive line that you see at the top. But look at where Calgary is right now. Very stable, right? Alberta, if you look at that, it almost mimics it exactly. Extremely stable. Like this looks like a kid drew it with those two pens taped together. Unbelievable. Edmonton, it's almost the exact same line. So, when you look at those three lines, I would tell you that almost guaranteed is Grand Prairie is going to be following something just like that. That's what I would say to Haywire. They wrecked it for common people. Yeah, I know. It is tough these days, you guys. It really, really is tough. T8W. I don't have T8W right now. As of 2016, over 90K now. Woo! Yeah, it's going up. Red Deer is doing pretty good. And I have Vinay over on YouTube. You're asking me a question. Let me just see if Red Deer is here. It's not. But as you guys know, I was just showing you the prices. It doesn't really matter if you want to pick Calgary, Edmonton, the capital cities, or Alberta as an entire whole. The prices are very, very, very steady in Alberta. So I wouldn't be worried about your property prices in Red Deer. In fact, they're pretty much up 15% in the past 12 months. So it's been doing good. Value has stayed stable over the past 10 years, he's saying. So, yeah, it's been doing very well. Vinay, you're asking me, do you think you could see more inventory in the third quarter of this year in the GTA? And the answer most likely is yes. Remember, the majority of properties sell in the spring and in the fall. The summer is kind of dead. They do spring and fall. So between the spring and fall, you're going to see a whole bunch more properties that'll be popping up on it. And why is because people are going to be running into their renewal dates. And remember, right now, over 30% of Canada is having mortgages over 35-year amortization. Big problem. So you can have a 35-year amortization right today. You can, but that's only if you already were approved. Remember, the law says you cannot be approved. So if you had a mortgage from 2020 to 2025, or smack dab in the middle, they could do something to fudge your payments. But the moment 2025 comes around, you're screwed. They're going to re-put you back to that number that you had before. So in this example, if you were at $5,000 right here, and then you went to a $7,000 payment, you might go to the bank and say, I can't afford the $7,000. And so can you possibly make it five? And they'll do that and just keep stacking that $2,200 at the end of your mortgage so that it's negative amortization. You're not even paying the interest on it. So this is the problem that they're going to run into. I think you're going to see a lot more inventory in Q3. Mateen, when we're going to be looking at a property, so she's saying Kelowna. If you look up Kelowna, you guys, Kelowna, very popular place in BC to live. It's gorgeous. We were there for a wedding, absolutely beautiful. But you can see it's in southern BC. It's inland. It's very, it's gorgeous there. If you take a look at Kelowna, it's a substantial city. It's not to worry that it's going to be like 10,000 people or something like that. You need to have more population than that to make sure that you're going to be safe. So Kelowna prices right now, let's see if we have Kelowna by itself. I don't have it. Let's check out interior BC. I have a composite for that one fixed up. Vinay, you're very welcome. Let's check out interior BC. Did I get that correct? Interior BC, yeah. So let's try to find it. Sault Ste. Marie, Saskatoon, Edmonton, Calgary, interior BC. Look at that one. Okay, so if we're going to look, this one is Vancouver at the very top. Very manic depressive, right? But if we're looking here, interior, it's less, a lot less. So we have to look back at when we started the money print, $459,000 in the interior, and look at where it ended at 744. So if you're looking at that, you know, that's still a 70% greater or something like that. And we only printed 50% more money. So it's a little bit too much, but where has it come down? It has come down, but it's still, these drops that you're seeing are bankruptcy events for a lot of people. So if we are going to be buying today, you'd probably want to be in something a little bit more steady. Or if you're in a zone where the property prices have dropped to less than 50% over the spring of 2020, then it could be a good time to buy, even if it was Kelowna, if it did make sense. Phil is also asking on YouTube. Thank you guys for the questions. I'll keep them coming. I don't miss any one of your questions, so please keep them coming. What do you think will happen if we see a 25% rate hike in June? Let's just say if. Remember that there's a rule for every 1% that interest rates go up, home prices come down 10%. So if we get a 0.25% raise, what does that mean? 2.5% drop in home prices. It's good to buy in Edmonton as a rental property. Are you, Kwame, are you saying that as a statement, or are you saying that as a question? Where would you invest with 5-year horizon? I would invest anywhere that actually makes sense. What does that mean? I would invest in places that have very specifically landlord-friendly places. The time that we're running into right now is going to have more uncertainty than we have seen in decades. So it's going to be probably greater than 2008. Remember, 2008 was only 4.5% of people couldn't afford their mortgages. It's going to be over this time. So how much worse? We don't know. We're just going to have to keep waiting to see what's going to happen. I think it's going to be worse. So only buy in places where you're guaranteed to get your rent. And I'm talking about New Brunswick or Saskatchewan or Alberta, or you could do Airbnb anywhere you want. Or you could be in Tennessee or the Florida Panhandle or Kentucky or places that are landlord friendly, Texas, Arizona, Nevada. Look for good places like that. And Bobby, if you are looking to buy in Canada, you should not be having a 5-year horizon. You should have a 50-year horizon. Follow what the tax laws say, you guys. This book, Tax-Free Wealth. Go read this book by Tom Wheelwright, Tax-Free Wealth. In the United States, you have 1031 exchange. You don't have that in Canada. Thank you guys for the questions. I'm going to keep plowing through them. Population grows by about 1,000 people per year. Okay, that's in northern Alberta, right? I mean, 1,000 is a lot if you have a 10,000 person city, right? But you still have to follow the rules my rules. I follow my rules. I'd say that. Would it be a great move to move from Ontario to Calgary, Alberta? So Zeus, you guys know I'm a little bit biased because my family is from Alberta, and so is my wife's family. I love it there, but it's good to invest, but I don't like to live there. Personally, I don't like living there. So you'll save some money on taxes, but it's very, very cold. A lot of other issues, right? And it costs you more money in other ways. So you got to figure out what your time is worth. Great place to invest, not so much just to live there. I'm going to be going back and forth between Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. So if you don't see the questions, that's why. By the way, just hit the like button always. Phil, thank you guys. Hey guys, I've been doing this for a while now and I have like no likes. So if you can make your fingers bleed for a moment and hit that like button, it's the best way you can do to help me out and tell me that I'm doing a good job for you. Please hit that like button a bunch of times. I normally have like 5,000 likes by this time and I got only a couple hundred. So thank you guys. Keep doing that. And please follow me on YouTube. And follow me there. I appreciate it. Is there rent control in Calgary? No, there is no rent control in Calgary. You can raise the rent as much as you want, which is the way that it should be. Let's see. Yes, you're very welcome, Vinay, for answering. Rahul, you said, David, do you have access to off-market assignments closing next year? No, I don't have any right now. There isn't a lot of off-market assignments anymore. They pretty much dried up in the past like 6 months or so. Mateen, but Rahul, sorry, there is off-market assignments right now. They're mostly off-market properties, not off-market assignments, but the off-market properties are generally 10 million and above. About. Mateen is saying, thanks, David. Keep enlightening people. Thank you. I love you. Thank you so much. When you put yourself out there online, you get a lot of flack from people, right? People give you a lot of hell for a lot of different reasons. At the end of the day, I've noticed after doing this for 20 years that no matter what you say, that somebody's going to disagree with you. So if you could put your whole world out there, right? And I know this from 20 years experience, not because I read the headline of a newspaper somewhere. I built myself up to be financially free from welfare. So you know what? When somebody else can do that, then I'm going to listen to them, But we get so much hate online, especially nowadays. But thank you guys for supporting me. I really appreciate it. And I hope that I've given you some value and that I'm helping you. Rahul, thank you very much for liking it. And you're welcome for answering. Let's go back to TikTok. Meeting specialist here. I can attest to the extended amortizations. Yes, I mean, it's crazy right now. We're over 30% of Canada is 30, 35 years on mortgage. So they're negative amortizations. They are not paying their mortgage. I need you to understand what the implications of that is. If people are not paying their mortgage, what are we doing? If you look into the law, it's actually illegal to be not paying any principal. It's illegal in Canada to have an interest-free loan. But the gray zone is you are not allowed to be approved for an interest-only mortgage. But they can do some funny business between your term. So if you choose a 1-year term or a 2-year mortgage or 3-year, meaning, and you guys in the States that don't see this, in Canada, we have to decide when to renew all the time. We can't fix our rate for 30 years like you do in the States. So here we have to renegotiate everything on a time zone that we see 2-3 years, something like that. And so that's when people are getting burned right now, and they're pushing that farther and farther. um all right, you guys. I was away. Apologies for not getting in touch, Michelle. Well, I thank you so much. Well, you can get in touch whenever. I'm going to be here for the next many decades. So you call me whenever you need. But I'm glad that you're back. I'm glad that you're healthy. Hope that you had a lot of fun. Central Okanagan, homes there are way too much for what you're getting. Yeah, I mean, if we look at the central BC, we've been seeing that, right? Interior BC prices are really high, but they're nothing compared to Vancouver and Toronto. So it's completely different. But it matters if you're living there for yourself or if you're living there to invest. Can I buy in Edmonton right now? I'm just about buying. Personally, I wouldn't be buying in Edmonton, but that's just me. It's just not a good enough market for me. You guys, let's check up here. As you see, is Vancouver. Here is interior of BC. So we're getting into the good zone, right? But let's try to find where Edmonton was. There we go. It's Edmonton. So, from a fundamental standpoint, it is very flat, which is pretty good. It means it's stable, right? You would like it to be curving up a little bit more, like maybe like Calgary, where it actually is driving up. But Edmonton, just I have friends there that own properties. It's just way too many problems for us, so we wouldn't be buying there. Kwame, you said you have a question. Sure. Kelowna is a good place to invest. No, I wouldn't be investing in Kelowna, not myself. For a lot of reasons. Just the price to rent ratio is way off. It's too much in a bubble for me. As you can see, the interior of BC prices are way out of whack for me. It doesn't make any sense. So if I bought a property even today at 640,000, are you telling me that you could rent that for what could you rent it for? $7,000? No, you could not. You could probably rent that house for $3,000. And so, at that point, it's just not worth it for me. I'm not going to pay out of pocket for somebody else to live. It's got to pay me. I'm buying as a rental property in Edmonton. Do you think I should go ahead? It's going to be ready in January. Oh, so 2 points there. Number one, I wouldn't be buying in Edmonton if you're asking my opinion. Again, I'm a real estate broker and investor, okay? This is not financial advice because I don't know your specific case, but I personally wouldn't be buying in January in Edmonton. And what you were saying as well gives me another big pause, because you said it'll be ready in January. And if it's pre-construction, we don't touch pre-construction, not at my classes. We do not teach people to go into pre-construction ever. Not for the last 10 years. Are you sure governments will not allow it to be amortized over 25 years at renewal? So this is Samip on YouTube. Are you sure the government will not allow it? So I can't be sure about anything. Nothing is 100%. Will the government change their rules from now, later? I don't know. I'm not sure when they will or if they will. But they are allowing them temporarily to fudge the numbers. But like you're saying, renewal now is hard and fast at 25 years. Will they allow it to go farther? If they were, that would be emergency measures that will put the housing market even more in jeopardy. And that would be a sign for me to say things are dodgy, stay away. What do I think about investing in Sherbrooke? So Sherbrooke is an absolute no-go for me. I would never buy in Sherbrooke. The number one reason why I would not buy in Sherbrooke, this is in Quebec, you guys, isn't because of the size of the town or where it's located. It's south of Montreal. It's good location, hockey, good university in Sherbrooke. It's not far from the US border. It checks a lot of boxes, right? Price is not too high, but the rent laws are ridiculous. People could live in your property for a year and a half, 2 years without paying rent, and nothing you can do about it. So I want you just to pause and think about that. I have a lot of clients who have rentals in Quebec, and people are not paying for a year, year and a half, 2 years. What would you do if you're paying the mortgage and all the utilities as your tenant is not paying? So I would never do that. That's just me. Zeus, you said thank you very much for your honest opinion. You're very welcome. So, you know what? This is one thing that I've been accused of in the past of sharing too much information. And you have to understand the way that the law is written. The law is written that you will always give all your information to your client, and everything you say has to be honest. So, I always ask people, like, if I have to selectively choose what not to tell them, then we're in a dangerous position. And in real estate, there is only two ways. And so whenever we have clients, and you guys know, if you are interested in working with me, you could obviously go to sellhigher.ca. This is where we sell your properties for more money and faster in Toronto. But if you're trying to work with somebody, you should just say, listen, my job is to do whatever that you want. We want to make sure that you're happy, defend you to the ends of the earth, make sure everything is legal. If you're selling your property, get the most money for you, period. If you'd like to know my opinion, I'll let you know, but you don't have to follow it. You don't have to be pressured for that. But I'm always going to be very, very honest at the end of the day. And that's all you can hope for from anyone. I even think that's what you should hope for from your marriage mate. Fortunately, I got the best wife on the planet. She's the best thing since sliced bread. So I'm really happy. Um, you're buying in Edmonton for a rental property. Should question mark. I guess you're asking me, should you be? I wouldn't be personally. St. John's, Newfoundland. I like St. John's, New Brunswick better. St. John, New Brunswick is a better place for government structures. St. John, New Brunswick, or Fredericton in New Brunswick. The laws are lean more toward the landlord instead of the tenant. So first thing you should be looking for, if you're going to think about buying a property in New York, in the state of New York, not the city, or if you're going to try and buy in Georgia, I want you just to look up, what is the rental caps in that place? What is, and this is for landlords, how long to evict for non-payment? That should be the first thing that you look at. And so I had somebody that was asking me about Winnipeg 2 days ago. And when we were on the Zoom call, I opened it up and looked at it, like, what are the rental laws? And there's a lot of tenant laws for them. And I was like, nope, instantly. I already know I don't even want to be near it. I'm not going to deal with it. We've been to court too many times to deal with that stuff. Saskatoon. Yes, I like Saskatoon. Riza 2020, she's asking about Saskatoon. Saskatchewan has laws that benefit the landlords. This is what you want. It's not necessarily saying Saskatoon, but just make sure that you're in a town that is, let's say, over 30,000 people or so. In Saskatchewan, you don't necessarily have to be within Saskatoon, Is buying cottages or homes for vacation rentals good as an investment? Vinay is asking over on YouTube. Buying cottages is no for right now. I would not be doing that. That is the first thing to have prices drop a lot. So I wouldn't be doing that. If you guys want, you can go over to sellhigher.ca. This is if you guys are anywhere in Toronto and you're looking at selling your properties. Do you guys have any questions about selling your properties? Let me know if you do. All right. Thank you. Where is the law written that in Canada more than 30-year amortization is illegal at renewals? Can you share the link? I don't have the link right here. I can't go look it up for you right now, Samip. But if you just go research it, you'll find it. All right, you guys. So if we're looking in Toronto for prices, we're seeing a massive rebound in prices. If you go back just a couple months, you were going to see that there is a massive bump in prices. But if you looked before, I did a video on YouTube saying that you got $50,000 to every single seller because those banks in the United States went down. If the United States went down, those banks, you would think that we would be in trouble. It's not that we are in trouble. It's that mortgage rates fell. So if mortgage rates are falling, as you can see on the chart right here, when mortgage rates fall, home prices go up. So the home prices here are not going up because the market is getting better and that we're in a good zone and everybody is happy. That's not what it is. It's because mortgage rates are falling. If you take a look at the charts, you're going to see that things are curving upward. And that curve upward is a lot of money. Look at 1.1 million in Toronto, Vancouver to 1.14. So that's up what? $40,000. Okay, look at Toronto from a million to 1.1. 120 grand going up. That's amazing, right? So anybody who is sitting on the fence, waiting, hey, I don't know what they're waiting for, because I think this is a gift for people to get an extra 100 grand. I think that's amazing. And now, if you have so few homes available on the market, I think it's crazy town, especially if you have a house that has a problem. So imagine you had a problem like you were under power lines or next to a farm that was spraying manure. What are other common ones? Being on a corner lot, a busy street, a bad school district, something like that, where you weren't getting full value before. You will get full value for it today. Rahul is asking, is it possible to sell with tenants? Yes, we sell with tenants regularly. But I'm going to tell you that selling with tenants will drastically reduce. It will drastically reduce the price and how long it takes to sell. So if you were going to take a look at, oh man, I have to change this. I got to get back on my system. It kicked me off. Sorry, you guys. Let's try to answer some questions while I get back on here. If you were going to look at the market right now, they're typically selling in like 20 days, something like that, 20 days. But if you have not sold in 20 days, that's a regular property. But if you have a tenant, expect 50 to 60 days to sell a property. It's a lot longer, So in many cases, we're going to be buying out the tenants. And so the last tenant that we did, I'm just trying to remember, I think that we paid him $5,000 or something to evict from the property. And then once we paid him, I've paid as much as $7,000 or $10,000 to the tenant. But remember, I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds like a lot, but it's not really a lot. It's not a lot, because if you sell it a month or two faster and you could sell it for more money, then you're going to be doing a lot better off. You're going to be doing great. All right. Let me try to get you guys back on here so that you guys could enjoy more of my stuff. Okay. If you guys have any other questions, fire them away. Want to save the new owner the hassle of looking for tenants. No, it doesn't come as a win. It's not a benefit. It's something that's bad. It's not a pro, it's a con. All right. So let's continue on then here. Rahul, you're welcome. Any suggestions for a new buyer in this market? Vinay, yeah, don't buy. That's my suggestion. First of all, Vinay, where are you? Are you in Toronto, or are you in where are you? If you're in Toronto, you can go to my website at Rough Team Realty. I have a section for buyers that is there. Go to Rough Team Realty if you want. We also have some free tools for you when you're trying to look at your properties, where it can get you your land transfer tax, different mortgage deposits, and your CMHC calculator. You can go check that out if you would like. You're in Toronto looking to buy in east of GTA. Well, look at this. So before, you were paying a lot lower price. This is the average price in Toronto. So if you're looking in the east of Toronto, let's just take a city, for example. And we're going to just use this as a proxy. It may not be the exact place, but maybe we'll pick Ajax. Okay. But if you're looking in the east of Toronto, look at what's happened to the prices. the prices have rebounded bananas. Okay. So they were at 1.3 million, and look at where they are right now. They've rebounded from 892 up to a million, up $120,000. That's insanity. And so now you got to pay a million right here for a property at a 6% interest rate. That's crazy town. I wouldn't do that. That's just me. But as always, I'm the only realtor that is online that is telling people don't buy. I wouldn't do it, but that's just me. Again, Vinay, though, if you were looking to purchase a property, a job of a realtor is to give you advice if you wanted it, and just to do what you were asking of him to the best of your ability. So if you said, Dave, I really, really want a property. It's in Pickering. It's a 4-bedroom, 3-bath townhouse. I love it. I want it. Well, we're going to work with you to try to get you the absolute best price that you can. It's not that you have to do what we mentioned. It's just that we do this every day, all day. I'm the broker of the area. So we just can see some things maybe that you don't see. All right. So if I was going to look, Vinay, I wouldn't be looking at least until Q3 of this year, which is July, August, September. That's the first time that I would be looking for a property. I wouldn't be doing it now or this summer. All right, we got a couple extra questions here. L6R is what one person wanted to look up. So let's check out L6R. In L6R, you can see here property prices are down 17% overall, 17%. And prices have rebounded a lot since January at 1 million to 1,123,000. That's a big, big difference. Vinay, yeah, you said that's your plan. So waiting until Q3 of this year, I think, is a great idea. Again, if you wanted to use us, you can go to Rough Team Realty, exact same name as my channel here, Rough Team Realty. Please, guys, like this and follow me on YouTube, please. It would really help me out. It's the best way you can support me. You can go to Rough Team Realty and you can link. You can go right here to buyers. You can put in your name and hook up a meeting with my team. All right, you guys. L7A is the next one, and I got someone asking me about Vancouver Island. Phil, yeah, I'll pull that up for you. So let's take a look here for L7A. L7A. L7A is down 18% overall, but if you just look at where it was in January, look at that. Just over $1 million, and now it's at 1,150,000. So you got $120,000. So back when I made that video in March about Silicon Valley Bank giving $50,000 to every single person who's selling a property, hey, I was wrong. It's much more than 50 grand. It's 100 grand. Unbelievable. All right. So I got a question looking into Vancouver Island. So let's take a look at Vancouver Island, you guys, as a whole. Let's see how Vancouver Island is performing against like Vancouver, let's say. There we go. So if you look at Vancouver, there is actually a large run in the price going up, right? So we look at where it was before we started money printing, 450,000 average price for the island, and it ballooned up to 760,000. That is a big difference. And where has it come right now? Down to 645. But if you actually even that out, it would be a regular slope. I know big up and big down. That's because of 0% and 6% interest rates. But if you actually draw some dotted lines in the center of that, that would be approximately what the money print has been. LA, what do I do for a living? We do a lot of things. We sell properties in Toronto for clients. We have a group where you sell your home for more money, faster and less hassle. This is what we specialize in. To buy a home doesn't take as much skill. To sell homes takes an enormous amount of skill. We also do help people that are buying properties, but it's less. Rough Team Realty is my other website where you can go to that. But my wife and I, we have like 6 companies. So I do a bunch of things, but we invest all over North America, mostly into real estate. But I'm a real estate broker myself. Don't buy. Then what do you do? lease or rent for now, maybe 1 million will be 1.3 in 12 months. That's true. I mean, this is a risk that you have to take. But for me, everything is math based. So he's saying, should you rent now? But if you rent now, maybe the price will go even higher. Okay, well, this is what my main thesis is. The average payment in Toronto right now, average payment for pay is $72,000. So if you look at paying 5.4% interest rate on 120,000, look at what this is, $7,297 right there as a payment right now. Your payment is larger than your entire salary, 100% of your salary. In fact, in Toronto right now, it's like 125% of an average salary to pay for a mortgage. And that's not sustainable. So eventually there has to be an equalizing. There has to be. And everyone says, well, what do you think is going to happen? I don't have to think what's going to happen because it's already happened. And so if let's pull up Toronto and Vancouver, which are the two biggest markets in Canada, let's take a look at them. If you look at them, you had massive price rises and massive drops. So if we look at Toronto, before we started money printing, 830 was the average price. And where did it go? It went all the way to 1.3. That is crazy. And then it dropped all the way down to 1.1. So 1.3 to 1.1, it wipes out $200,000. What's the first thing to disappear? Is people's equity. So their entire deposit is going to disappear at the same time as their equity has completely disappeared. Now their monthly payments are going to be $2,200 more per month. Remember, that is somebody's like entire salary. So I don't know how people are going to do it. Well, I know how they're doing it now. If we look at national numbers, everyone's putting it on their credit card. Everybody is then draining their savings. And what is the last thing? They're pushing their amortization to 35, 40 years. But that can't go on forever. That's only a temporary fix because it's illegal for them to renew at that. And that's the problem that we're going to run into. But again, this is just my take on it. If you really feel, Sean, that you think that the prices right now are $1 million and they're going to go to 1.3, that's a whole other bag, right, to deal with. And if that is what you really, really feel, I think you should do it. Because at the end of the day, right, we all have to just do what we think is best. We got to look after our families. And so at the end of the day, this is very easy for me to sit here because I'm not talking to anybody. I'm just telling you what I think. But sometimes when we talk with clients and we're selling their properties and they're telling me more about themselves, there's situations where they should just stay put. And so, we got a lot of seniors that we deal with that are well-to-do, and they're like, I don't care if the home drops 30%. I'm never moving. I'm never leaving. So if they, in their case, it's just peace of mind. They've earned it. They don't have to leave. You bought in, Sean says, crazy. So blessed that I bought in 2010 and sold my other properties last year in March of 2022. Whoa, that's great. You sold right at the peak. Fantastic. Fan-freaking-tastic. I love it. So if you guys want to see me, you can go to sellhigher.ca. This is where we sell your properties in Toronto. Now, do you guys want to know about how we look at properties for investment? If you guys want to show, I can show you how the tool that I built that we look at properties. So when we're going to be buying, we look at about 100 properties per day. And we run that through calculator. If you want me to show you that calculator, can you write calculator in the comments on Facebook, on YouTube, on TikTok? If you guys want me to show you that, I'm happy to show you that as well. But just write calculator. And if I get a lot of comments, then I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll answer any questions that you have. So Toronto prices are going to be scooching up. But right now, remember I said there isn't any properties on the market. So look at what's happening with the amount of days it's taking to sell right now. We're seeing right here from 23 days on the market all the way shooting down to 11 days on market, which is absolutely bananas. Okay, well, I got like 5 people that kind of want to see calculators. I hope that you guys don't mind if we do that then. Let's pull up some calculator business and let's see if I can make sure that everybody is happy. Please hold. Please hold. All right. Let's do this, my friends. You let me know if you can see it, and if you like it, and if there's any problems, let me know. Um, okay. So this is the calculator that I built because I couldn't find anything that was anywhere. Um, we had to build it, my wife and I, myself, just to look at properties. So basically, what you got to do is you see, I wrote right here, fill in the yellow squares when you're reviewing a property. So that's the only thing that you have to do is fill in the yellow squares. So what you got to do is punch in some numbers up there. So I always use the example that of the last properties that we bought them for 380,000, 380,000, and it rented for $4,200 a month. So when we go down here, we have to then put in our taxes. Our taxes are about 3 grand, and my insurance on those properties. It's quite expensive. Now, when you put in your insurance, you put in per month. I don't remember exactly. I think it's around 200 bucks. We don't have any lawn and snow because there's other people who do that, but I'm very, very lazy. I want to make sure that the property management is covered. I am not going to go fix a door or nothing. So I put 9% in for property management. I make sure I leave 1 month for vacancy, 1 month for repairs. I'm peeling that cash off every single month and sticking it into another account so people can leave me alone. Today it's at 20%. I locked all my rates in below 2%, but let's use just today's numbers at 5.4%. Once you punch that in, guys, it's already done all the math for you. Now, I'm going to do this slow so you can actually get an eyeball on it. But can you see? Let's zoom in a little bit. This is current cash flow at the top, these two up here. Now it has all your purchase price, all your mortgage numbers, all your expenses. And so you can notice down here where it says cash flow using market rents, I only need $76,000 in order to buy these properties. And notice too, I am putting 336 two times, $672 every single month is going into a special account just in case something breaks or there's a vacancy. And that is not included in this 60% cash that I'm making per year on that property. So as you continue down, you'll have your improvement values. This is a depreciation and capital cost allowance. Depends if you're in Canada or the United States. We have different worksheets for both. In addition, we have a 20-year principal pay down calculator to know how much of the mortgage is getting paid down by your tenants. We also have this is structural inflation, never demand inflation. Then you have your rent growth calculator, depending on what province or state that you live in. And then down here is where it starts adding all of them up together. So when you add this all up, there is like 1,000 calculations that is happening for you, but it doesn't really change anything for you. If you know your numbers right at the very top right here, all you do is fill in these yellow parts and then it will punch out the number. And if you are laser focused on this one, year one ROI, laser focused, this will now solve everything for you. So if you want to know how it works, go to my YouTube channel. My YouTube channel has a video on it called Total Income Calculator. Total income calculator. It'll go through the whole thing and show you each part, how to use it and go part by part. So that'll help you. You'll be able to deal with that and you'll get that. You'll get through it. So this is what we have. And do you guys want me to do another example for you? Okay. So we were looking at a property here in Toronto. And this property in Toronto was for a client that he wanted to buy $720,000. The rent on this property right now is $3,300. Watch how fast this is. Price, rent. Okay, taxes on that property are 3,500. Insurance on that property is 150. They don't have to property manage it themselves. There is hardly any ever vacancy, and there's hardly any repairs whatsoever, because the building takes care of most of that. Even if you were going to pay 5.4% like it is today, we're even seeing stuff lower, like 5.1, 5.2. So if you had that right now, but this is Toronto, right? So it's a little bit different here. And rent raise, we could go 4. So where are we going to sit right now? We're sitting at 38%. 38%. So if you have a $720,000 property that's renting for 3,300, taxes, insurance included, property management, vacancy, repairs, all accounted for, but you're going to have condo fees. So on this property, the condo fees on that property were, I'm just trying to think, I think they were $650 for that property. So if we look now, it's at 33% per year. And this is what you got to be able to figure out. So if I can look at a listing immediately and go price, rent, and add in taxes, insurance, condo fees, property management, vacancy, repair, and mortgage. If you can do this, you can get the calculator to do all of that work for you. So if you could punch out these numbers and make sure that you're getting that, then you're going to be doing very, very well. Now, this is my question to you. Everyone wants to say, I'm going to go buy T-bills or I'm going to go put it in stocks. Where can you make 33%? Where do you make 33%? That's my question. So if you can make 33% on a property, like what are we doing? Like you don't have to work anymore. So just take a look at this property, for example. You put $144,000 down on this type of property. When you put $144,000 down, it makes $1.8 million for you in 20 years. ROI, good question. Return on investment. Total return on investment. Like, so how much cash am I making? So it tells you as a percentage. So do you see here, it says that you had to pay $144,000 down payment. So out of $144,000 that comes out of your pocket, you're now going to make $47,000, which is 33%. Vinay, where are you getting rent for $4,200 for a $380,000 property? All over the place. But it's normally in the middle of countries. So in the middle of the United States, in the middle of Canada. So and Maritimes. So it's not Quebec, Ontario, or BC. You have to look in the other provinces to get rents like that. So that's what ROI stands for. And then you want to know how much cash you're going to make. So some people can say, could you retire off of 675,000? You're going to go, well, maybe you can. So then you only have to wait 10 years before you retire. If you don't take the cash out and you reinvest 100% of the cash, guess what? You can get 50% more than that. So remember, all of this is just a math game, you guys. If you understand math and you understand taxes, then you don't have to work anymore. You can get this calculator in the link in my bio. On TikTok, if you're on Facebook or YouTube, the link for it is under all of my videos that are on YouTube. I also suggest that you guys are looking at this book, Tax-Free Wealth. I'm not a financial advisor, you guys, but he is. And if you read this book and understand this book, then you can understand how you can make your money and you don't have to pay taxes on it anymore. So, imagine making $1.8 million and you don't have to pay tax on it. I mean, that's a good day. All right, you guys. Do you guys like this? Tell me yes if you like it. Tell me if you want me to go back and show you some other properties, prices for properties in different areas of Toronto. I'm willing to do that too. Let me know if you like this or if you have any questions about this. So if you wanted to know more about this, you can go to my YouTube and look on YouTube for total income calculator. Okay, total income calculator. This is over on my YouTube channel. Rahul, you said this is very useful. Oh, you're very welcome. So if you go to my YouTube channel, which some of you guys are on right now, total rental income property calculator, total rental income property. So you go look at it. I go through piece by piece by piece for like 20 minutes. I show you every part of it so that you know if you like it. And if you like it, then you can get it. But I suggest just looking at it first. Vinay, you said it's it's useful. Rahul, you said it's good. All right. So I got a couple people. So if you guys want me to do another example on this, I'm happy to do so. Or does anybody here have a rental property? Does anybody have a rental property here? If somebody has a rental property, I would love it if you would share with us the value of that home today, the rental price, and you have to know what the taxes, insurance are today. If you have that today, then I would do it. Mateen, you said this is very useful. Ah, thank you very much. We have somebody that says, Silverio, you said that you have a rental property. Do you have the numbers for me, or do you want me just to do another example for you right away? If you have the numbers, I need you to rapid fire them to me. Value today, rent, property tax, insurance, condo fees, and what your mortgage rate is. If you guys have that, you can do it. And in the meantime, I'm going to show you another one. So I was looking at a property for myself that was at 1 million. Oops. Guys, I wrote 10 million. That's a little rich for me. $1 million. On that $1 million property, it was renting for $8,000 a month. For that property, this is very, very, very expensive for taxes. I found is expensive for taxes. I don't know what you guys think. It was 50, hang on a second, 53,000, $6,000, I think it was, in taxes on that property. And insurance on that property, super duper expensive, I think. I think it was $700 in insurance per month. I had no condo fees, but I had lawn and snow. $3,000 per year was the lawn and snow on this building. So if you break that down, I don't know what it is, $270 per month or so, something like that. Of course, I'm very lazy. I'm going to have it property managed, and I want to make sure I have vacancy and repair always taken care of. And so if we were going to do that today on this example, $1 million property for $8,000 rent, 6,000 property tax, 700 insurance, 270 lawn and snow, 9% for property management, 8 vacancy, 8 repairs, and then we put in the interest rate. Look at how fast that is. 44%. Instantaneously, you know that the deal is a go. But let me tell you, I know that where this property was, it's even better than that. So let me adjust a couple of the other numbers here. Yeah. So where are we now? 46%. I mean, it's amazing. So when we were looking at this, hi Susan, how are you? So when you're looking at a deal like this is a deal that you gotta jump on. So I have to come up with $200,000. That's what I need to come up with, 200,000. And look at how much money it's going to make me within year 20, 3.6 million. So if you can live off of 3.6 million in retirement, well, come up with $200,000 now, and then you could retire. Maybe you only need $1 million to retire. Look at that. In 10 years, you'll make 1.32 million. Amazing. All right. We got an example coming in here from YouTube. Rahul, rental property value is 450. Condo fees, rent is 2,000. Okay, let's pound through this, okay, for him. Also, I'd like to know where this is, Rahul. 450,000 is his property. Watch how fast we can do this, okay? Condo fees, 200. Tax, he said, is $200 per month, which is 2,400. He also said that rent is $2,000. You put in the rent. No mortgage. I bought it for 335K. Well, we got to look at it as if it was Scarborough. Okay. Rahul, we got to look at it as if somebody was buying it today, just so that they can know what they're making. But then I'm going to do it for you, okay? So Rahul, 450,000, $2,000 a month rent. Property tax is 2,400. Insurance, I'm going to guess you is about $1,000 for you. I'm going to guess. He has no condo fees on that property. Oh yeah, he does have condo fees, 200. We don't have any lawn and snow. And I'm going to guess, okay, where this is. And so because he's in Toronto, we got to change the improvement value. Oh, he said he's in Scarborough. Okay. 4. There you go. So he's sitting at 18% per year. But watch this. This is for Rahul. Okay. Oh, look at that. I screwed up. Insurance by month. So let's say it's $100 per month. Okay. So just let's say though, most people, Rahul, when you are doing this, when they are doing this, they are usually doing it themselves. Okay. So if he's in Scarborough, I bet you that he is not property managing it. So then did you see the number goes up? Okay. Did you see it went from 28% down? Whoa, I screwed it up here. It's still at 28. Okay. So we changed that. Oh, he said taxes around 2,200. Okay. I'm going to get to Airbnb in a second. And maybe he does have 8% repairs. I don't know, but I'm tucking a lot of cash away every single month for that. We're going to put $300 every single month aside, not counting for it. This does not count that in his profit. If we were going to get the mortgage today at 5.1%, it would make 28% on his property. This is in Scarborough for a property at $450,000, renting for $2,000 a month. He's still making 28%, but he says he has no mortgage. Zero, zero, zero. It's not really working, eh? Let's go. I think 1%. I don't think my calculator likes the fact that we have zero. Interest rate 1%. Well, look at I mean, I think you're at infinite return, Rahul, because you're saying that you own the property right now. You own it free and clear. So if you have no money in it, it's very hard for you to calculate your total profit. Do you know what I mean? In percentage terms. In percentage terms. It's very, very tough because it's free money, right? It breaks. Bought it with $60,000 down. What a good deal. Amazing. Susan, yes, I am in Toronto. All right. So let's see if we can do another example here. I got Airbnb Savage who's having another example for me. And let me show you guys how his is coming out, okay? Condo in Calgary, value of 370,000, 370. Bought it for 300K last year. That's good. Variable rate is 5.5. Okay. There you go, 5.5, 20% down. And he says taxes are 2,200 per year. Rent is 2,800. Ah, man, I love it that you're giving me all these numbers. It's beautiful. Okay, Airbnb Savage. So 370,000 that you see right here. $2,800 is the amount for rent that he's making. $2,200 in taxes. I don't know what your insurance is, so I'm going to leave it at $100. Condo fees, he said, is $560 per month. I don't know if Airbnb Savage, if you are managing it yourself or not. And your interest rate, you said 5.5. There you go. So there you are. You're at 36% on that property. Actually, I think that you would be more. You're in Calgary, right? Calgary is at 66%. Yeah. I mean, you're at 36%. So I think that you're doing great at 36%. So let's review this. Airbnb Savage, 370,000 buy, $2,800 market rent, 22 tax, $100 a month. Oh, he's got $150 a month management fee. So at the end of the year, that's 1,500, 1,800. Okay, so that's quite a bit less than rent. 1,800. What is that? 2/3. I got to know what a percent. That's about 5%. There you go. You're making 34%. So remember, when we're going to be looking at this all together, you have to be looking at not just your cash flow using market rents and subtracting all your mortgage calculator stuff. You got to know exactly what your depreciation and capital cost allowance is from a tax perspective, the savings that you're going to get. You also have to know your principal pay down, which is there. You have to have your yearly appreciation that is structural inflation, not including demand inflation. You have to know what your rent growth calculator is. So you got to check what the laws are in that area. For structural inflation, this is M2 money supply minus the GDP growth. So you have to figure out how to do that. But I explained that in that video if you want. If you guys want this video, this calculator, you can get it in the link in my bio. And it actually comes with some instructions that are at the top. It also has a link to the YouTube video that goes through it. So I want you to do that. Mateen, you said you really are a savage. Awesome. So, Airbnb Savage, you're saying that you pay $150 a month management fee, which is super, super low, especially if it's Airbnb. Generally, property management, it depends how many units you have. So it's generally going to float somewhere between like 6% to 12% if it's individual properties. Or if you're going to be into have a lot of different properties, the price will get lower. If it's Airbnb, it depends on what you need, cleaning or whatever. It could go up to 25%. I've even seen 50%. Does this help? If you guys want this calculator, the link is in my bio up here. We sell it on our website. Or what you can do is you guys could go over to my website, Rough Team Realty. I have it there. Um, did did this help, guys? Did you like this stuff? Hope that you liked it. Hope that it helps you at the end of the day. This is what we always are hoping, is that you guys like it and that you're learning. We try to learn together, right? So let's pull up this. If you go over to Rough Team Realty, you can go here, and on Rough Team Realty, you can go to my products right here. If you do this, we have this calculating real estate returns. We have a course on this. We also have a gold and silver course because we invest a lot into gold and silver. I've been doing so for over 20 years. Actually, more than that now, 25 years. I've been buying gold and silver. So you guys know that I think that you guys should be buying gold and silver on a regular basis. We have a course on that. We also have the Canadian version of that calculator and the American version of the calculator. We also have a course on buying your dream home. So we got a lot of different stuff for you to help you understand how to be buying properties and how to build wealth. I did this from welfare. I was on welfare, you guys, for like 4 or 5 months. It was at the bottom of my life. It was brutal, but I built myself up, and I did that through financial education. I'm telling you guys, you got to do it. Number one, I would be starting with this book on tax-free wealth. Not just read it, but understand it. Very big difference. Unfortunately, a lot of the websites that I use are private websites. But thank you very much, Silverio. You appreciate that. So can Rahul, do I do this every week? I do it often. I do it often, a couple times a week, but I usually do it on Sunday evenings. But please go to my YouTube and follow me on YouTube. I have a lot of different videos on YouTube to help people understand where we are in the market. If you're thinking of selling your property, which is what we specialize in, please consider going over to sellhigher.ca. This is what we do here. We sell properties in Toronto for more money. This is what we do. All right, you guys. So I'm going to get going. Thank you very much for coming by tonight. We really, really appreciate it. Remember, home prices are going up like crazy, but it's a dead cat bounce. Don't get suckered in, especially if you are in the big markets, Oakville, Toronto, Vancouver. Not a place to be buying right now. Please, please be careful. Mateen is saying, turn on that notification bell on YouTube. Yes. We try to put out videos every single day. We have an entire team. So all those who are watching right now, Tessa, Alexis, Glenn, all of our team that helps get this out to you guys on a regular basis. Costs us a lot of money to do this, to have a team putting these out for you. So thank you, everybody, for following us on YouTube. YouTube channel is the exact same name as our TikTok and our Facebook, Rough Team Realty. So the same name that you see up above. You can follow us there. Vinay, you said you only discovered this channel this week. Well, I'm glad that you got it. Thank you very much. Please consider subscribing. Please tell your friends about it. Susan, is it a good time to sell in Toronto? I think it's a fantastic time to sell in Toronto because home prices have rebounded over $100,000 just this year. So when we see those numbers, we have to know what is happening, right? And the reason that these rates have done this, the reason is that, let's go. Did I just lose it, you guys? Let me show you, Susan. Do you guys remember what I was going to show you? Canada bond rate 5%. Oh, bond rate 5-year. We're doing this for Susan. So if you just take a look at the bond rate is what follows mortgage rates. So if you take a look at what has happened in the past year, you got to see this zone over here where the rates have fallen. And because when mortgage rates fall, it actually pumps home prices way up. And this is because Silicon Valley Bank, Signature Bank, and all these other banks collapsed. So if they collapsed, interest rates fall. Look at what it was at the top, 3.6. Look at what it is at the bottom, 2.7, almost a full point drop, which means home prices go up 10%. And what we're seeing right now in Toronto home prices have gone up a lot. So they've gone up since January, 978,000 it was in January. And actually now this is delayed. They're actually over $100,000 up right now. And you could see that curve upwards. That curve upwards is that 100 grand that you're going to make right now. And so, especially if you have a home with any kind of issues, maybe it had to be repaired. I say under power lines, corner lots that nobody wants to be on busy streets, stuff like that. That's the homes that you probably would want to sell. But if you are looking to sell your property, it's absolutely free to reach out to us. You can go to sellhigher.ca, where you sell your home for more money, faster, and less hassle. It's a free consultation, doesn't cost you anything. And we do use a lot of tech. Rocket Fuel Marketing Packages is the best thing that we got going. And we try to sell our homes faster and for more money than any of the competition. All right, you guys, that's where we're at today. Thanks very much for coming by, Susan. Please follow us on YouTube. To Vimay and Rahul and Mateen and everybody who was asking a lot of questions. You guys, thank you very much for coming on today. Do you guys have any questions before I get running? Any questions before I leave you today? That sounds kind of dark, right? I'm going to be back. I'll be back tomorrow. But do you have any questions for me like today that I can answer before I get going? I think it's a fantastic time to be selling your properties, especially if they're expensive properties. The higher the price, the more that they fall. This is a rule of real estate. $3 million property should drop 50% overall, but not accounting for inflation. So you have to look at M2 money supply minus GDP growth to figure out what that price would be. So if you have a very, very expensive property, it's probably time to sell. If you're in a bread and butter type property, you're probably going to want to keep it. If you're in a town that has had stable prices, we were looking at some properties earlier today, like Calgary, for example. If you had stable prices, you probably were going to want to keep it because it's at a discount now. So it really depends where the property is, what type the property is. That's what you got to know. Oh, you're very welcome. Low key, most of the statistics that I use today, like all those Toronto statistics, it's on a private website. Unfortunately, it's not available to the public. All right, you guys. Glad I got all the questions out. Rahul, glad you enjoyed your evening. Thank you very much. I hope that you have a fantastic evening. Keep on crushing. It's going to be a big week. Hopefully you have a successful week. We'll talk to you later on. Have a good night, everyone. Please follow me on Rough Team Realty on my YouTube channel. And if you like that calculator, you can get the links in my bio on YouTube or the links in my bio here on TikTok. All right, everyone. Have a great night. Thank you. See you guys.